Are beans and lentils nutritious, or are they toxic? Let's take a closer look. I'd like to preface this episode by saying that I am not a doctor or any other kind of healthcare professional. Everything I'm about to say was found in papers and books, which I'll link to in the description. If there is any false information, please let me know in the comments. These days, pulses have a reputation as a healthy food, but this wasn't always the case. For hundreds of years, beans were derided as food for the poor, fodder for livestock, or even thought to contain the souls of the dead or to be conduits to the underworld. Thanks to science and millennia of trial and error, we know a lot more about how we derive sustenance from pulses. Pulses are often used as a substitute for meat, as they're a good source of protein, usually between 17 and 20%, with the most commonly eaten pulses. However, that protein is incomplete because they're low in sulfur-containing amino acids, or SCAAs. Cereals, on the other hand, are high in SCAAs, so when paired together, provide enough protein content to serve as a meat substitute. Try for 35% pulses to 65% cereals for the ideal ratio, but really you'll benefit from the pairing no matter what. Pulses are also a great source of complex carbohydrates. Leguminous starch gets digested much slower than the starches from grains and tubers, so pulses have a low glycemic index. If you have, or are at risk of developing diabetes, pulses are an excellent addition to your diet. They're also high in fiber, between 5% and 37%, which many think causes flatulence, but as it turns out, the culprit is a starch called oligosaccharide, which does not get digested until the colon, where your gut flora goes to work on it, converting it into carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and methane. Oligosaccharides aren't all bad, though, as they're prebiotics, so promote probiotics in your colon. Other than peanuts, chickpeas, and soybeans, pulses are low in fat and contain no cholesterol. The fats that you do have in pulses are mostly mono and polyunsaturated fatty acids, and they contain no saturated fatty acids. Polyunsaturated fatty acids need to be ingested because our bodies can't synthesize them. Pulses are also a good source of B vitamins and a source of zinc, iron, calcium, selenium, phosphorus, copper, potassium, magnesium, and chromium, which are important for a variety of reasons. The bioavailability of iron in pulses is very low, so though it's there, you won't be absorbing much of it, although when pulses are paired with foods high in vitamin C, the bioavailability increases. A lot is made of so-called anti-nutrients found in legumes that generate adverse physiological effects and interfere with protein digestibility and the bioavailability of some minerals, and while it's true that they do contain these phytochemicals, they're non-toxic and at any rate destroyed during cooking or fermentation. Furthermore, research shows that these non-nutrients have antioxidant properties, so play a role in cancer prevention and heart disease. Beans are nutritious, an excellent source of protein when paired with grains like wheat, barley, or corn, high in fiber, promote gut health, help to regulate blood sugar levels, and contain antioxidants that protect against some cancers and degenerative diseases. There's virtually no downside to eating a pulse-heavy diet. Unless you have favism, of course. Okay, so we may as well talk about this, even though you probably don't have it. About 400 million people globally do. And it only relates to fava, aka broad beans. It disproportionately affects people in the Mediterranean region, mostly male, and all of the other common eaten pulses are super okay to eat, even if you do have it. This may be one reason that fava beans had such a bad reputation in antiquity. In fact, it's said that Pythagoras, who legend has it, was killed by an angry mob or hitman or something, because he refused to escape through a field of flowering favas might have been favistic, explaining his aversion to broad beans. At any rate, pulses are good and you should eat them. If you found this video helpful or informative in any way, please hit the subscribe button because there's a lot more pulse content coming your way.